My name is Michele Genest, the Boreal Gourmet, as I'm known around here. I cook with wild ingredients that grow in the Yukon. That's really what I like to do. I like to cook with wild, local foods. When I was a young woman, 24, I went traveling. I went to Greece and fell in love with it. And for the first time, really learned how to cook. And I learned to cook with the wild ingredients that were available locally, because that's what everybody did. The really important thing for me was wild food that we gathered or fished ourselves. It was the most satisfying physical experience probably that I had ever had in my life until I came to the Yukon. And when I got to the Yukon, I discovered the same culture, the same interest in the wild foods that were available all around us. The ancient First Nations culture, but also a newcomer culture where everybody went out into the woods in the fall and picked berries. My style of cooking now is to work with a wild ingredient at the basis of every recipe, and then build in techniques from other cultures, ingredients from other cultures. We are all influenced by our travels and by the other people that we cook with or that we hunt with or fish with. And we borrow from each other, and we've come up with a cuisine that I think is uniquely northern. Although I lived and cooked here for a long time, I had never really cooked with First Nations cooks until recently during a project that I was involved in that ended up in a cookbook called Vadzai, Cooking the Caribou from Antler to Hoof. The core of the project was a collaboration between First Nations cooks and contemporary cooks, sharing information, knowledge, and recipes. It was a really, really fun exchange, and for me, it was kind of the epitome of the new Northern cuisine. Tradition, contemporary, mixing, learning, experiencing something together, all through the medium of an animal that is absolutely key to the survival of the people who live in the northern parts of our three territories. That was really thrilling.
The caribou are close to the community. The bull caribou are the one that we take to harvest. We use everything from the caribou, the meat and the skin.
I think collaborations between different kinds of cooks, between First Nations cooks and contemporary cooks who come from different traditions, are really important because they bring us together in an environment over food, which we all share a love of.
To make the real jitsu, after you pound your meat up really fine, you melt your grease and you form them into little like meatballs.
If you're a visitor, you will be able to eat wild fish, and you'll be able to eat lots of different dishes that have been flavored with wild herbs. Those ingredients are beginning to show up on restaurant menus, and that's the wildness that you should be looking for if you're a visitor.